What's going on, YouTube? You know your boy had to touch on this subject. We're going to be talking about the Titan submersive that, went on the trip to see the Titanic. Never made it back. Everybody unalived. Now, starting off with a little gematria, right? Ocean Gate, which is the name of the company, values at 212. Now, if y'all are familiar with my previous videos where I broke down and talked about chaos magic, you too will see that chaos magic also values at 212. Not only that, I just want y'all to peep these weird coincidences, right? Not only that, the CEO of the company, Stockton Rush, wife, who also was on it, Wendy Rush, drum roll please, is also a descendant. Wife of the submersible pilot is a descendant from Titanic couple who perished. Now you're talking about a little weird. It's getting a little weird here. Let's continue. If y'all know anything about chaos magic, it's all about chaos magic teaches that the essence of magic is are perceptions are conditioned by beliefs, and that the world as we perceive it can be changed by deliberately changing those beliefs. Chaos magic magicians subsequently treat beliefs as a tool, often creating their own idiosyncratic magical system and frequently borrowing from other magical traditions, religious movement, popular cultures, and various strands of philosophy. This gets a little interesting. All right, now some things. I think this was planned. Of course, it was though, because now we have all of these stories coming forward about what was wrong with the Titan submersive, but we heard nothing prior to it. Even though all of these billionaires was aborted, we have Hamish Harding. Let's go and look him up. Hamish Harding, who also was on the Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos space rocket. He also had owned an aviation company and was starting a VIP tourism company in Antarctica. In 2017, Hardin worked with Antarctic VIP tourism company White Desert to introduce the first regular business jet service to Antarctica using a Gulfstream G550, landing on Wolf's Fang runway and Icy runway. Hardin also visited the South Pole several times, accompanying Buzz Aldrin in 2016, as Aldrin became the oldest person to reach the South Pole at the age of 86. Now, this is what I find strange about this as well. Let's see if we can restart this video. They said that their sonars picked up banging. Now, they know that these people' whole goal and objective was to get to the Titanic crash. So if they're reporting to her banging, or it came that they lost contact with this submersible vehicle, right? Then why didn't they automatically go to the Titanic wreck site? Instead, this is what they do. Let's see if I can play. I don't know why this. Okay, there you go. They got that big ass bar right there. Kind of on feet over in that. Okay, so I see I want to act up. Here we go. Fair use, fair use. We all know what that is. I'm giving criticism on this right here because it's all something's weird going on. Here we go with the internet problems again. I'm gonna pause this right quick.
Extra glucose, making it easier to spend more time in range and lower your A1C. Manage your diabetes with confidence. We have breaking news tonight on the massive search operation to find that submersible with 5 people on board. In the past hour, crews searching for the sub reportedly heard today banging sounds at 30-minute intervals. Then, after additional sonar devices were deployed, banging was still heard. Okay, this is according to an invert. A subsequent update sent tonight suggests.
Pardon me, but the laptop is tweaking, the internet is tweaking. Coincidentally, y'all. Let's try to get through this.
More sounds were heard, though they were not described as banging. I want to bring in deep sea explorer and oceanographer David Gallo. David, thank you very much for being here. What does this development tell you?
Well, immediately the first thing is it gets your hopes go skyrocketing up, but also it makes you think that, wow, time is really now against us. So it really encourage you to do something, but do it quickly. Because, anyway, you have to be, there's a little bit of caution here because if you remember Malaysian Air, there were all sorts of bangs and beeps and pops heard that were positively this or that. It turned out to be none of those things. I'm not taking away from this, but it gets the hopes of the families and loved ones up, and it does.
Okay, we heard enough of that. Now they said that. Now this was a report coming in yesterday. They broke this news yesterday. They said that they heard banging. Today the news is that it imploded. So they're saying that it imploded. Now today they announced that it imploded. Right. Let me just show y'all so y'all won't think. Y'all to see where I'm going with this in a second. And it only opens from the outside. We're going to jump on that in a second. But listen now. They say that it imploded, right? Now, these reports came in today. As you can see, 5 hours ago, that's probably about the latest because that's when the news broke, about 5 hours ago, right? So yesterday they said they heard banging. Today that they say that they found it and it was a catastrophic implosion. So technically, these people would be pronounced dead today. But on Wikipedia have all of the victims dead on the 18th for some strange reason. I mean, I just don't. Let's type in Wendy. We're not going to even look at him. I guess it's just so many holes in this. And you see it automatically pop up. Now, this story gets a lot more weird. Let me, matter of fact, just bring it up. Characters was even depicted in the original 1990 Titanic film, y'all. The James Cameron's 1997 film Titanic, Wendy Rush. I mean, her descendants had a scene in the movie. They weren't actually there, but they were depicted in the movie itself. What are the odds that this happens? A descendant of the Titanic died near the Titanic in search of the Titanic. And to the world, this is pure coincidence. You know the famous quote? Here we go. Where's that famous quote? I had it pulled up. Here we go. Those who cannot learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Now, we all know about the elite families that were going against the Illuminati and the JP Morgan and all of that on the original Titanic, who was actually the Olympic in disguise of the Titanic and the whole insurance scheme. If y'all not familiar with the story, maybe I could do a quick video breakdown, showing those who are not familiar with it or just don't want to do the research themselves, how this all comes together and plays a role. Now, JP Morgan And these other elite families, the Rothschilds or Rockefellers, which is the same family, they just changed their name as they do early so centuries. But yeah, now they were going at it. These big banksters, big, what we would call the deep state, the Illuminati. They were going at it. There was a couple of wealthy families who was trying to take them down, who just so happened to be on the Titanic that night. Right before it set sail, J.P. Morgan and all the other elites stepped off and canceled their trip. Thus, ending in the way it ended. I find it very ironic that the descendants of two of the wealthiest families who started Macy's descendant actually died in a scenario like this. Now, if this isn't like orchestrated, I don't know what is. This is very, very strange. And I didn't even scratch the surface on it. There's a lot more tied into this whole story, and it only gets weirder, y'all. It only gets weirder. Now, in other news, the FDA approved lab-grown meat for consumption. No, that's off topic, but I'm gonna make a video about this. I just wanted to show you guys. It's getting spooky out here. And these wizards and warlocks and their chaos magic, my laptop is going absolutely crazy. And this chaos magic is actually going bonkers right now. Okay, here we go. Lost my train of thought for a second. Yeah, other news. USDA approves first lab-grown meat to be sold to the public. So yeah, what y'all think about this video? As I said, if y'all wanted me to do a part 2 to break down more in depth and so y'all can see the weird coincidences that's really revolving around this story. And just for the simple fact that, gematria is a very powerful tool, and these wizards and warlocks rely heavily on this numerology, astrology, and this esoteric knowledge. Ocean Gate, valued again, as I stated, at 212. Chaos Magic, valued again, as I stated, at 212. The descendants. Wife of Wendy was a descendant of the Titanic couple who perished. This couple was depicted in the movie holding each other on the bed in a scene of the movie. Oh, here we go, right here, speaking on it. Rush is the great-grand. Let me just read this before it's over. Rush is the great-great-granddaughter of retailing magnate Isidore Strauss and his wife Ida, who were part of the group of more than 1,500 people who died during the Titanic maiden voyage, according to New York Times archive records. The couple were fictionalized by Lou Platter as Isidore and Elsa Raven as Elda in the Oscar-winning 1997 film Titanic, directed by James Cameron. While several of the scenes focused on them in the movie were cut, a scene featuring the characters clutching each other on a bed as the ship went down became memorable. Now, her great grandmother and father went through the same thing that she just went through, near the same location. What are the odds of that? Now, I could look, the odds is probably more probable for you to get in a car accident and your grandparents to have died in a car accident versus diving 1,300 feet below sea level to the Titanic, to the exact spot where your great-great-grandparents died. I'm not buying it.